Okay. I got it. I got the answer. What is indoctrination? Do I get the 400? Do I get the 400? Come on! I'm seeing it's already in the chat. People already picked up on it. You guys are right. Hey, Robert Imbriali here. Hey, thanks for joining us. It is Monday, and you know I love Mondays because, oh my gosh, there's a lot going on. And I have my wonderful co-host along with me today. We're going to decipher some of it, break through some of the narratives, and address some of the issues that have come up. And boy, there's a lot going on. It is Convoy Week. Welcome, Lewis. Good to see you, my friend.
Hey, how are you doing, my white privileged friend?
And my white privileged friend is doing very well. I can do things that many other people can't do. Can't name any, but
Good.
I can do things other
Yes,
people can't do.
right. I I wish I was part of your group. I need some privilege.
Oh, please give us some privilege. I really think the illegals are the privileged class at this point, but don't quote me on that, huh?
No, they are. I tried because I'm peach colored, so I tried to get some privilege because I'm of color, and for some reason it just hasn't come back for me yet. But I'm working on it. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take my peach looking self and I'm going to cross the border, throw my identification out, and then I'm going to come back across the border because then I get free housing and food. I mean, that sounds logical, right?
You have to throw your passport away though, so they can't identify you, and get rid of your driver's license and come across, just a shirt on your back. And then they give you
Yep.
everything. They give you
Yeah.
housing, they give you 3 meals a day, they give you a debit card, they fill it up every month
Mhm.
for you too, and they'll
Yep.
they'll drive you or fly you wherever you want to go in the country. So, relatives you haven't seen in a while, yeah, I think I'll go there.
Yep. So I'll make sure I throw my passport away. I'll come across the border with a shirt on my back. Oh, a very nice shirt, nice shoes, and a nice backpack.
Oh, a nice backpack, yeah. Yeah.
Yes, a free backpack that was given to me, and directions from the United Nations. Okay, I got it. I got it. I know what my life is going to be now. This is amazing.
It's just going to get better and better. I got to tell you, it's just like from this point forward, if you do that, life is going to be easy, and you're going to really understand what privilege means because we don't get it at this point. We fight for every dollar we make, and we're just like everyone else in the rat race here, trying to do what's right. And trust me, we don't make a ton of money doing this show. Actually, it doesn't pay the bills. If you want to know the truth, we're doing what we can to bring you the truth here, and it's our part, it's our role, it's our give back to we the people. Both Lewis and I are committed to that, and whatever it takes, we're going to make it happen. But privilege, no, no, it doesn't fit.
Ay, ay,
The
ay. That's my
indoctrination,
wife.
Lewis. How can these schools do this to these poor kids? And they don't give them the why. So all you have to do is ask them questions, and they go blank on you.
Well, yeah, but the construct is intentional, and this is what people don't get how deep it is and
Yeah.
sinister. So, and it happened way before George Bush, but George Bush was a huge catalyst with his programs that they introduced. So, to give you guys an idea, is what makes a successful student? Memorizing and not asking questions.
Correct.
Now, do you want to be a successful adult or do you want to be a successful student? Do you want to be a successful employee or an employer? Right? Do you want to be somebody that has an opportunity to invest, or do you just need people to invest in the sweat off of your back? So what happens is the conditioning has started with this whole test taking standards that was introduced. So now nobody cares about education. Nobody cares about actually learning. They care about memorization. So what's the product of that? The product of this forced memorization is now it's very easy to do indoctrination.
Yep.
Because if all you're doing is memorizing, then they set you up for success in their mind, failure in mind, and then they just start feeding you talking points. And you're going to mimic them like the puppet that you are. So the awareness of this is very, very, very important. And it's tough raising 7 kids. I know I still struggle. So it is very, very, very tough because that's the conditioning that they get 8 hours a day. And then it's the same thing on the
Oh no, it's
internet.
more than 8 hours a day. No, you do 8 hours a day, then they have homework, which
Oh,
is two to
yeah,
three
and
hours
a
on top.
lot of
So yeah,
homework,
a lot
a
of
lot
homework.
of homework.
Yep.
So they're inundated with memorization because they don't want to, they can't learn the homework because they're test taking.
Correct.
So they have to memorize
Yeah.
the homework. Do you see people see where it's going? I hope everybody sees where it's
Memorize and
going.
repeat, memorize and repeat. And as
That's all
adults,
it,
this is what they do. They watch the news, they memorize and repeat. But you can't ask them
exactly
any
right.
questions because they don't have any depth. They haven't analyzed, they haven't thought through anything. But not the group that's watching. The people who watch this show, you guys analyze. I know that because I can see your text messages. I can see what you're
Yep,
sending us,
exactly.
you know? Cool. All right. Screw Big Gov, go there, have a look, go see what Lewis is up to, my friends. He's always got something turning and churning. He's a busy, busy man, and you could find all his movies there. And remember your oath.com. If you haven't already signed up, please do. Also, there's swag there, and then there's the social media button, which is real important. And if you want to follow us on Telegram, Renegade Media on Telegram, we post the videos that we run here and a bunch of other stuff. Phoebe's been helping. She's been putting a lot of stuff up today. She's really, really fired up about this Convoy stuff. So she's been posting a lot on Renegade Media. And you can email me, Robert at renegademedia.tv. All right. So the spooky blackout of border news. What are we talking about here? What's going on? The spooky blackout of border news. This is going to get into kind of the takeoff of where we were on Saturday when we did the Border-a-thon, or Denise Bliss Phillips did it. It was her event. I just helped in the back end with producing it. But Zero Hedge had this article up today, and they were talking about the New York Times ignoring everything that's going on at the border. The Wall Street Journal did the same. There's nothing on MSNBC, NPR, CNN had run a report late last week, bizarrely rendering the whole dispute. And this is about the dispute in Eagle Pass, Texas, over whether the federal government can save children. Craziness, right? A week after the crisis began, other reliable venues such as Business Insider and Vox started reporting with a strong and determined slant against Texas. Finally, Wired magazine, which Anthony Fauci had deployed as a reliable voice during lockdowns, weighed in with a headline that updated a chapter out of Orwell. And here's the headline: far-right extremists are organizing an armed convoy at the Texas border. And you could see the headline there in Wired magazine. I used to like Wired magazine. Crazy how the narrative is being spun already. This
Yeah,
isn't what this is.
no, I saw that one over the
Yeah.
weekend, and I went to the coordinators directly, and they're addressing this stuff. Now they've got a team of lawyers, and they're addressing a lot of this stuff legally. But here's what we have to remember. They must be over the target if they're getting hammered like this.
Yeah, no question.
And there's no doubt. And they're, and in fact, then you get the fear porn. Are you going to get into the fear porn here? Because I don't want to step on your
Oh, no. Yeah,
toes.
we're going to get into it. Yep. We can bring it up anytime
Okay.
here.
Okay. Well, no, if you were going to talk about it, I would wait.
No, this is our segment to really get into this because
Okay.
it's really critical. Because I got so many people wanting more information on the border convoy, and I got to tell you, there's a lot of videos out there that are not of our convoy. they're
Right.
they're of convoys of years past, and
That's
other,
right.
some are even from other countries. You look at some of the cars, I'm like, those aren't American license plates, but they're making it out to be this convoy.
Right. So
Yeah.
what people are doing is really sad. I think you kind of have three groups. You have the group of good American people that are supporting this. You have the group of the clickbait fools that will take it, and those are the ones that they'll publish fake border convoy and this just so they can be first out there. It just started today in Virginia,
Yep.
but I saw border convoy videos from yesterday and the day before and the day
Oh, that
before
was
that.
last week. There was a bunch. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
So we have to understand that's the second group. And then you have the third group, the fear porn mongers that I think have a separate agenda. And in fact, I have so many people coming to me that this is going to be the next J6. What are you guys doing? Oh my God, this is horrible. Blah, 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 and going off. And I said, okay, I have to address this. So here's the statement that I wrote, and I'm going to read it verbatim here,
Okay.
not to miss anything. I said, for those of you concerned that this wonderful convoy to the border will be the next J6, Let me add some context. Remember, J6 was in the corporation of DC, and they do not have due process there. The rest of the country, even California, still does. We are not operating in fear, and there will be a very proactive message coming soon. What if this type of event prevented the feds from acting badly? More than they already have, of course. We know there will be infiltrators. We know this, and there are systems in place that will expose them as such. Lastly, we will not be at the borders. We will be, in most cases, on private property, and we will be peaceful and in prayer. Have you considered that the fear porn about this convoy being the next J6 could be from people that are trying to prevent us from taking a public, powerful stand? Have you considered that naysayers may have an alternative agenda? Some have even given clues to their agenda. They warn you of this convoy, and then coincidentally, what do? They mention that they have a solution. And what's that solution? That just happens to be a program that you can participate in for a fee. So, guys, use your discernment. We've got this. Let's manifest a powerful awakening with peace and prayer. And if you have any questions, just go to takeourborderback.com. I can tell you the people in the background are doing extraordinary work. They're working 16, 18, sometimes 20 hours a day, a few of them. They're very tired. I was on the phone with someone earlier, and I'm like, get some rest. We need you. So I'm telling you, these people are working for the American people. This is going to be an amazing event. Will there be some knuckleheads? Probably. But we have teams and security and special surveillance all over the place watching this. And we're going to come out with a statement very soon. So that's what's really going on if you guys want the truth. Come to people that are actually involved in it, not people that are not.
Exactly right. I got to tell you, from a marketing standpoint, when I watched the trucker convoy in Canada, I watched absolute newbies on YouTube streaming live and getting 4, 5, 8, sometimes 15, 20,000 people watching their streams. And they built these massive YouTube channels in literally sometimes hours, rather than what it takes years to sometimes to build up to those levels. So I think what we're seeing here is exactly that. People are, there's going to be a convoy again. We know what happened the last time. The lessons learned were you could grow your channel really quickly by having this stuff on. And I think that's really a big part. Like you say, they've got something to sell the background, right? They're not doing it for free. They're not doing it benevolently. They're coming out and they're saying, we want all this traffic, and then we're going to sell them into our program. And there's always an agenda there. And we've got to pay attention to that, because there's going to be a lot of that stuff. And the misinformation, disinformation these days is at epic levels. I've never seen it so hard to sort through. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. There's programs out there that are helping to foster that. It's gotten worse in the past few months.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I have people that are taking my identity, and sometimes they do such a great job. I question whether or not I made the post.
Wow.
That's how good they are, right? I go, did I say that? No. And then you see their link, and I'm like, oh, clearly I didn't say that, right? And then I have to, and it looks like me. They've stolen my images. They've stolen everything. Then I have to delete and ban and do all that stuff individually. And even my team of admins, they're like, is this you? Did you say this? No, it's not me. Here's how you go and check it. Da, da, da. It's really crazy.
Well, one of the stories we have today is going to explain how they're doing that. And it's going to scare some people, but I got to tell you, we got to be eyes open on this kind of thing, because the technology's out there to make that happen. And the CNBC site that we talked about last week that turned out to be a fake website. Well,
That's
Fulford fell for it. It was in his newsletter. He's like, look, the mainstream media is taken over by the White Hats. I'm like, Ben, no, it's not. It's a fake website. 10 minutes of searching, you would have figured that out. Your team needs to be a little bit better there.
Oh, well, I fell for it.
A lot of people did. A lot of people did. And
it was forwarded to me from my team.
Yeah.
And it's not their fault. They just didn't know what to look for.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe that's a training we can do, is like, how do we figure out what's real and what's not? And there's no guarantee we're going to be 100%, but certainly when we're not, we'll be happy to come back and apologize or correct it. So this article in Wired magazine quotes a retired U.S. Army lieutenant colonel is organizing the armed convoy next week to the Texas border. Tui says, hunt down migrants crossing into the U.S. from Mexico. Hundreds of people already say they're coordinating travel plans for the convoy on Telegram as tensions continue to rise between state and federal government over immigration. Pete Chambers, the lieutenant colonel, who he says was a Green Beret, appeared on far right, so many adjectives, on Thursday to outline plans for the Take Back Our Border convoy, which has been primarily organized on Telegram. Not true. What gets us to the enemy quickly is find, fix, and finish, Chambers told Jones. That's what we did in Syria when we took ISIS out really quick. Now we don't have the authorities to finish. So what we can do is fix the location of where the bad guys are and pair up with law enforcement who are constitutionally sound. It sounds like they've completely twisted this guy's words around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Pete's a good guy. He's got great information. And just this morning, he put out another video saying, this is a peaceful protest.
Right.
There will be infiltrators. We will be handling them. We got security. We're going to be in prayer. It's not about confronting anybody. And guess what, guys? Oh my God. We're not on the border. I've been screaming this at the top of my lungs. When are people going to get it? We're not, pay attention. We are not on the border.
Yep.
The Texas rally is 30 miles away from anything that's happening. So anybody tells you differently, they don't want to get the correct information. We've been very open. If you want to know what's going on, just contact us. We'll talk to you. There's a whole press team. There's a team of attorneys. You name it. I go out and I talk to people. But we're not getting the phone calls. We're not getting a lot of people saying, so what's really going on? It's rare when they do, right? They just publish their bullshit. And then, unfortunately, the makeup of the conspiracy theorist is we tend to swallow it, where we should now start using discernment and go, okay, what's really going on here?
And you got to look at these journalists too. It's like, where is their stance in this? Because where are they getting this information from? Number one, if they would have gone and asked anybody who's actually putting this convoy together, they would have known right away that their information is incorrect. And it doesn't happen. They just go ahead and publish this in something as big as Wired magazine with millions of readers. That it's like, yeah, we're going to the border to hunt down Mexicans. I'm like, what are you talking about? And nothing could be further from the truth. No one's even showing up armed, for gosh sakes. You know what I mean?
Well, this is how uneducated they are. It's not Mexicans crossing the border anyways.
Yeah. Very few.
It's every other country.
Yep.
It's Guatemalans, Hondurans. Oh, you know what they're not seeing a lot of? They're not seeing a lot of El Salvadorians. Oh, wonder why? Because the president fixed that country. They love it there. They want to stay there.
Well, all of them want to stay in their own country, but they can't because these governments are horrible.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I interviewed people from Chad, people from Sudan. I mean, they're in Guatemala. They're coming from everywhere. By the way, out of the 200 and some people that we talked to when I was there, I think 3 of them said they're from Mexico.
Wow. Well, the convoy has kicked off this morning. Here was the video of the first moments of the convoy, just to let you know it's happening.
Oh, we got a freedom block. We got our first freedom block right here, and it's Big D.
Oh my Lord, my signal.
Big D with the first freedom block driver. Here we go, guys.
That was in Virginia Beach earlier this morning. They were kicking off, and they're headed toward Jacksonville, Florida, I think, is the first stop. And that's where Bruce is going to meet up with them this evening, and he'll be following all the way through to Yuma. So he's got a long drive ahead of him, but he's really, really fired up. Talked to him for about an hour last night, and he's really looking forward to being able to bring some live streams. He's going to be streaming on X on his account there. Bruce Poppy 1776, I think, is his handle there. So he's going to be doing live streams, as many as he can, actually.
Yeah, guys, stop by Newman and see us. Poor Bruce is probably mad at me right now because he's putting together a bunch of T-shirts that I'm giving away for free, not charging for them. So if you stop by at where I'll be at my booth in Yuma, come get a free T-shirt for rememberyouroath.com.
While supplies last, because you don't have an unlimited supply, right?
Right. I don't think I do.
Well, here's what this is the Oreo Express, Oreo Josh. He's explaining because people are asking, "What's the convoy about?" And he's a nice little explanation. Yeah. San Ysidro, California. I think they're going from there. They're going to Yuma. I think that's going back east.
And Texas. They're going to end up in Yuma. They all want to see me. I'm famous.
I knew there was a reason. I knew there was a reason. Eagle Pass, Texas. That seems to be the spark point, I think, at this point. I don't know what else to call it. What else would you call it? The flashpoint, I guess is the right word.
Yeah, it is. It's, you know what, this is kind of the media misconstrues things too, because they were really struggling in two areas in Arizona. I mean, they were just flooding through. They couldn't catch up to them. They were camping out there, waiting for Border Patrol to process them. It was just madness, right? And then Eagle Pass, Texas became a big issue. I believe it's becoming what you call a flashpoint only because of the dispute between the feds and Texas and Abbott going on.
Right.
Ultimately, from what I've seen, and it's from my interviews with some Border Patrol, unnamed Border Patrol, because they don't want to go on record, unfortunately, the belief system is that they'll probably take their direction from Biden instead of doing the right thing, because they've already been threatened, by the way, with their paychecks.
Yes.
So if you don't do it the way we want to do it, we're going to fire you and you'll lose all your pension.
Yeah.
So the school of thought from a couple of people I talked to, a couple of Border Patrol, is most of them, including the guy, one of the guys I talked to, he says, I'm going to go along to get along right now. And I just hope something else happens in the near future where we feel empowered, because right now we're just a processing center.
Yeah. I think the guys on the front lines there, they don't have any real power, because if they go up against their management, their supervisors, they get removed, and they will lose not just the paycheck. They also, like you said, the pension is the real thing they hold over their head. A lot of them, they only have to serve 20 years or something, and they get a full pension. That's a lot of money to walk away from. Not an easy thing to do.
No, and you don't think there's manipulation? I bet you that many of the ones right on the border are the ones with the pensions that are coming up, because they know they have the leverage against them.
Yeah,
it's pretty sad. And admittedly, he even said there's some of them that are directly paid off by the cartel, which I know, but he definitely
how
didn't
could
want
there
that.
not be? Come on, they're involved with them all day long. Yeah.
He definitely did not want that to go on record. He is recorded secretly, but he's flat said, yeah, the cartel is definitely paying off some of my my cohorts here. So it's sad, but this is what this convoy is about, is we need to bring attention to this stuff. Everybody needs to know, just not in this patriot community.
Right. And that's what our fellow on the video was saying. He says, the whole point of this thing is to bring attention to this issue that the mass media is completely ignoring. We talked about that earlier on the show. It's like, CNN is saying, oh, it's just about, stopping the kids from drowning is the whole battle. I'm like, where are you getting this from? This isn't even close to what's going on over there.
The Marxists are really good at spin, Robert.
Yeah, they really
very good at spin, and they spin and twist. And this is why I say, I think when people realize that we are living now in the age of authenticity, and you just start to be authentic. So let me just take a personal situation. Let's assume somebody at home is a good person, but they tend to over exaggerate or do a little manipulation, or they're a salesperson. Instead of being creating a great relationship, they actually manipulate. Well, I promise you, if you just make that decision, I'm going to be honest and authentic, it will come around. I'm guaranteeing you, if you take your short-sighted mind away, those good people just said, I'm going to be authentic. People are craving authenticity, Robert. I cannot believe what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing from we the people. Just stop lying to me. Just don't manipulate me. Just tell me the truth. All I want is the truth. Because guess what? God gave us the power to make great decisions if we have the right information to make decisions from. So I believe we're in the age of authenticity, and I'm very excited about that, but it's not going to happen overnight. But authenticity is the highest vibration proven when they test frequencies, higher than love. So let's be authentic.
Very, very, very true. Now, we could switch over to the Border Patrol Union. And what are they saying about this whole thing? This is kind of interesting because the Union for the Border Patrol is saying the National Border Patrol Council, which is the official union of U.S. Customs and Border Protection personnel, released a statement last Thursday supporting the Texas National Guard's attempt to secure the southern border and slamming the Biden administration for its quote-unquote catastrophic border policies. This is according to Daily Wire. Rank and file Border Patrol agents appreciate and respect what Texas has been doing to defend their state in the midst of this catastrophe that the Biden administration has unleashed on America. Rank and file Border Patrol agents are not going to start arresting Texas National Guard members for following their lawful orders. That's fake news, the union said. Texas National Guard rank and file Border Patrol agents work together and respect each other's jobs, period. We kind of alluded to that on our Friday show, that these guys are the same guys, right? They know each other, and they're not going to go after, one's not going to arrest the other.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's the problem we're having.
Mm-hmm.
The Border Patrol Union is saying the right things. And that's the belief system of the Border Patrol agents. Those two things coincide. The challenge that they're having, and they will have, because I've interviewed them personally, is their pension is being held over their head.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So they're very concerned about that. So when right now the pension is coming first. So when the rubber meets the road and they may have to arrest somebody or confront the National Guard, let's see if they step over to the correct side, right? I don't know at this point. I can tell you based on some conversations I have, I'm concerned that they may not.
We're watching. We don't know what's going to happen, but it's really interesting. Trump put out a statement, and he said, a new border bill is not necessary to stop the millions of people, many from jails and mental institutions located all over the world. Basically, all we have to do is, follow the laws that are already on the books, and it makes a lot of sense that we're just not doing that. So more laws, what's it really going to change? And it's interesting because the border bill that they want to bring caps the illegals to, I think, 5,000 a day. What do you mean? Illegal is illegal. That should be at 0, not at 5,000. But look, it's an improvement over the 200,000 a day or whatever the number is that we've been seeing, right? So now they're coming back and they're saying, well, we'll cap it. We'll lower it a little bit. It doesn't stop it.
No. It's like these chain stores where they increase their price on products in February. So in March, they give you a big, huge sale. So you think you've got something out of it. So it's the identical thing. It's just ridiculous. Guess what? People fall for it, though.
They do.
It's successful.
They do.
So people will probably say, well, hey, it is a lot better. What if that was their goal from the beginning? 5,000 a day. What if that was their goal?
Yeah.
You just were manipulated right into accepting.
They make it a lot worse, and then you complain, and they say, "Well, we'll lower it down. We'll fix it a little bit."
Yep. We take care of our people.
Yeah, we take care of our people. Make it look good. It's all political. I was on the phone with Bruce last night, and Thumper came up on the bed and started meowing, and Bruce goes, "Oh my God, what does he want?" I said, "He wants his super sauce. That's what he wants." Tell us a little bit about this super sauce and what it does for our pets, Lewis. This is good stuff.
It's funny you say that because the super sauce is back ordered. I just got mine
Yep.
2 days ago,
Yep.
and my dog Cody, who's 17 years old, right? He loves it. So I tried to give it to him the first time, and it's been so long. He's like, "Oh, I don't know what this is. I don't want it." And I said I put a little bit in his bowl, and I just had him taste it because I probably don't do it the way I do it. I feed him directly out of the tube. So after he tasted it, he looked up, and then I'm feeding it out. I'm squeezing it in his mouth, and he's just loving it. And I can tell you, he's 17. He has an amazing perk in his step, and he was supposed to be gone a while ago,
Hmm.
right? He's
Yep.
got, German Shepherd. He's got the hip issues and everything, and he's doing, in my opinion, extraordinarily good for his age.
Wow.
So I'm very, very, very pleased watching all my lovely dogs with this product. It is phenomenal, phenomenal. I can't say enough about it. It's just the best.
Yeah, it's really shocking in a very positive way to see how quickly my cat turned around when I put him on this food. I could not believe it because I only feed organic, right? So only organic kibble and raw chicken liver every morning, and he was ready to leave. He was done, and then put him on this food, and it's like it's a different cat. It's unreal. So, you want to find out more about it? Go to sbgpets.com. That is where you will find out more about this wonderful pet food. Certainly give it a shot for your pets. If you love your pets, I know you do, you owe it to them to give them the correct nutrition and also give them the mushrooms that will help them with.
And we're going to end up finding out it's everybody else.
Yeah.
I think that's what's going to happen. So, bring it. We'll see. If President Trump has nothing to hide, then I don't think there's going to be an issue, is there?
Well,
And then it's going to boomerang on everybody else.
yep. You saw Alina Habba on Friday when she came out of that courtroom. She was livid. That's one tough woman, that's for sure. She was absolutely livid about the injustice here. And it's like, are these judges really that untouchable where you can't go after them, you can't disbar them, you can't get them removed? I guess we'll find
Okay.
out.
Well, there's two scenarios. It's either yes, 100%. And based on my investigations and the documentary cages that we produced, we proved that the judges are untouchable all throughout Arizona. That being said, maybe the positive scenario is he's just playing a part, and maybe they're not untouchable any longer, but they have to play the part to wake people up.
Right.
So I'm hoping for number two.
Yeah, waking
It's
more
hard, though.
people up.
And
Yeah, no, it's hard to be patient through it all. It's like it
is.
just riles you so much, and you got so much fire. You want to get this over with, and
Yeah, in fact, and I'm not going to go into details right now, but there's something going on in Arizona with the something happened with the GOP over the last few days, and it's extraordinarily disheartening for the people that have been fighting so hard because the endorsements came from Kerry Lake and President Trump that should have never been. So I'm trying to get down to the bottom of it. I'm getting a hold of somebody on Trump's team because this doesn't make any sense. You and I talked offline about it, and the reality is, in President Trump's defense, he cannot have his face and ears on everything.
Right.
He needs to get advice from advisors, and he's got some very poor advisors, in my opinion. But it's hard. So I give him a little bit more pass, and I kind of put it on the advisors that he has for some of these selections that he's endorsed are just crazy. Crazy. It doesn't even make any sense. People go, oh, that means they're going to be exposed. This is a very low level person that he had endorsed. I don't think there's any exposure there. I think it's in my opinion really bad advice.
And
So
we've seen that with Trump before, though. We've seen it during his 4-year term. I mean, Christopher Wray was a glaring example of that. It's like he should have never been appointed to head the FBI. Never, right? But everyone told him Trump's he's the best. He's the one. He's the one. So Trump endorsed him after getting rid of Comey. Right?
Is he part of the movie? Maybe.
Yeah.
He's high level enough up that I can say maybe. But I would say on these lower level endorsements, no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
So we'll have to find out. But I'm digging into it. I've reached out to somebody. I'm getting some more information, and I'm going straight into his team, and I'm going to ask some very, very hard questions, because when I'm supporting a group of a dozen people in a state that are doing phenomenal work and taking it to the board of supervisors, just kicking ass and taking names,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they
Yep.
get completely disrespected and bulldozed in the most important Arizona GOP meeting that's ever been. I have some concerns. So
Yeah.
we're gonna dig into it and figure it out.
Follow the money, my friend. Follow the money. Someone's getting paid off somewhere along the line here. Something doesn't add up logically, then you have to follow the money and see what's really going on.
Mhm.
You'll find it. We always find it, and it's so neat that we live in the world that we live in right now. We have so many citizen journalists, right? So many people out there putting stuff up on social, and I know Elon Musk is one of those. We don't know which side he plays on. I think he just plays for Elon, and he did a really good thing with X because we're able to get the word out there, which is the kind of the pulse of society, if you will. We can use that tool now where we didn't have it before. Think back to 2021, how difficult it was. That was the truth, and now we have some channels where we can do that. So it's a good time to be alive, I think.
I agree. It's a tough time to be alive,
Tough time
but
to be
it's
alive.
it's an extraordinary, beautiful time to be alive. I mean, the stories that are going to be told to your great 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 grandchildren, Robert, and in general,
Right.
the people watching here, is amazing. Anybody that Annie up and kicked in during this time, you're going to be held in high esteem. And all I say is turn your eyes to God and be authentic. That's the only advice I can give. And work. Do a little work. Put some effort.
Yeah, it's been coming through for me since the very beginning of this, that when I decided to step up and start speaking about this, it was very clear to me that I need to be on the high side of this. And to do that, I needed to do things I would never have considered doing before, which was coming out and actually talking politics and talking current events. And wouldn't never talk about that stuff before. I was in the business community, and you don't bring that stuff up, Yet it's sad because it's one of the most important things you could talk about in business, right? Is politics, religion, your values, your beliefs, all those things. It really brings you a lot closer. As I've learned, seeing all the relationships I've created. I get messages from, like Trina this morning was texting me. She's just a wonderful woman, just a great person to have in our life, right? You know her well.
Yep.
There's people like that just weren't there if I was doing what I was doing before. And look at all the people that I see, the same names in the chat room every single day. It's like these people love us, they support us, and we love them, and we support them, and we were building bonds that are phenomenal, and so much better. Again, being authentic, sharing what you really believe, who you really are, so that those relationships can be close. Because without authenticity, who are you really? How can I get really close to you if I don't know what you really stand for? Right? We think we're close, but we're really not. They're just acquaintances. It's friends on Facebook. I got 3,000 friends on Facebook. How many do I really know? Handful, right?
No, it's true, and it's. I mean, from a personal standpoint, I can tell everybody that one of the many reasons why I fell in love with my wife, is because she accepted me for all my quirkiness.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a goofball. I'm a knucklehead. I make mistakes. I
You're damn
trip.
funny when you want to be. I'm telling you, I
I
love that. You
fall.
love your sense of humor.
But she accepts it. She doesn't. She accepts me for that, and I accept her for who she is.
Yeah.
And
But she's not quirky, though. Let's be careful.
no, she's not. I'm the quirky one for sure. She's pretty straightforward. But that I can be extraordinarily authentic around her.
Yep.
And that's one of the reasons why I fell in love with her. And I pray that people understand how important authenticity is. Like literally, if 50% of people were their true 100% authentic self, no matter what, we would already be done with this because we'd be resonating at such a high level of frequency that it would permeate everything.
Yep.
Does it sound woo-woo? It does, but there is some science behind it also.
There is. And the question I always have, you get these politicians who go into politics with the greatest of intentions, and they're swung so quickly. I just have to wonder, it's like, where's their moral standard? Where's their baseline? Where's the line that they draw in the sand and say, I will not do, the things that they're asking you to do. And they just seem to go along with it. That's really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. We're in an odd space.
We are. All right. So, I can't believe I'm saying this, but this May I'm going to turn 60. But I don't look it, right? No, not at all.
No.
It's just, I'm gonna do everything I can not to look 60. I want to look 59 forever.
All right, I'll do it too. There we go.
We're having a good time, but this is a great product. This is Neumi Skin, and look at the 4-week and the 8-week of this lady. Now, I don't look as good as her, but we're certainly trying. This is a glutathione product, a nano glutathione that's really good for your skin, helps lighten, brighten your skin, helps tighten up the wrinkles and firm your skin a little bit. And a lot of women are reporting that they can do with less, and some actually go with no makeup. Now, can you imagine going out with no makeup? I know some women could not imagine that, but it's happening. And this product is helping with that tremendously. So it's a great idea to couple it also with the internal version, which is the new NutraSwish, which you put in your mouth, swish it around. You get all this beautiful glutathione going in under your tongue, goes right into your bloodstream, helps your liver to detox and deal with oxidative stress. And for the ladies, guess what's back in stock? Neumi Herms.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. It is back. You can get it again. It's available, and it helps with all the PMS symptoms. It helps with menopause symptoms. It helps with hot flashes. Plus, it helps boost your energy and your libido. Guys will love that, certainly. So if you want to find out more, we don't want to make this an hour-long commercial because I could. RenegadeMedia.tv/energy. RenegadeMedia.tv/energy. And if you have questions, you can reach out to either myself or Lewis. We'd be happy to answer any questions you have about these products. We love them. We use them. I'm swishing 3 times a day. I'm spraying 2 or 3 times a day, and absolutely love it. All right.
So let me jump in real quick, because in chat, this is how the universe works. I had no idea about this, but let's give a plug for Carol Maureen Friesen. She said, my show today on Grassroots Warrior Network is on, drum roll please, quantum authenticity. How cool is that?
Oh, wow. Go, Carol. Love it.
After you finish watching this, go over to Grassroots Warrior and watch Carol Maureen Friesen on quantum authenticity. That's pretty cool. Now, one more thing somebody mentioned in the chat. I was going to say something until somebody mentioned it. It said, Lewis is shaved. Uh-oh. Lewis did shave. So, yes,
it's not
no?
just the spray, huh?
No. You for it or are you against it? Give me your thoughts.
Okay.
By the way, it doesn't really matter because whatever my wife tells me to do is what I'm going to do anyway.
Lewis, shaven or unshaven? What do you think? Put it in the chat room. We want to see. All righty. We have a problem on our hands that is happening on the internet, and it's worth having a little chat about because it's going to impact all of us. This is from Business Insider today. AI spam is already starting to ruin the internet. You might say, AI spam? What in the world is AI spam? What's this Rob talking about? Come on, Rob, tell me what's going on here. We found that CNBC US site last week, and we found that it was fake. But one of the things that fooled so many is that if you went on that website, article after article after article after article, it wasn't just the one article. It was almost a copy of the entire CNBC website. They copied the logo, they copied the articles, they copied everything. And now we see this article come out. It's kind of interesting. This is from 404 Media. They looked into the article theft cottage industry, which is what that was, is article theft. Over the last few weeks, their reporter Jason has been researching and experimenting with a series of AI tools that promise to spin articles for their users. One software called Spin Rewriter lets users create 1,000 slightly different versions of the same article with a single click and to automatically publish them to as many WordPress sites as they want using a paid plugin. Now that website that was the fake website was indeed a WordPress website, right? A company called Byword gleefully advertises the SEO heist, quote unquote, that stole 3.6 million total visitors from a competitor with this one weird trick, which was exporting the competitor's sitemap and creating AI-generated versions of 1,800 of their articles. So just a few buttons, copy the entire website, modify it slightly, spin it. You could publish to multiple websites. You see what's going on here is they're now rigging their SEO so that they get search traffic because they're going to display ads and that's where they make their money. Say, why would they do that? Because they want traffic. Traffic gives them money. Go find articles, go find popular websites, duplicate the website. And this particular one, what we found was registered in Iceland, off the continental U.S. So copyright laws, I don't know. If you change it slightly, I mean, copyright law, generally speaking, the guideline is if you change something 10%, it's no longer copyrighted. I don't know if that still holds true. That's a copyright law of 1976 that I was familiar with when I was a photographer. It was real important to know what that law was. But if you change an image 10%, it's no longer the same image. So I'm wondering if it's the same now for content.
It's tough too, because in international law and international court, they've really been struggling with enforcement of all this stuff.
Yeah.
China's been ripping us off for a long time, and they virtually duplicate things, and they get away with it. They sell the crap out of it, and then we have trouble with the enforcement of any of this stuff. So I don't know what it's like in Iceland, but I think you have a good point. They're probably a little bit looser over there, so if you're in Iceland, you can get away with some things.
So now we can train an AI. We can go to ScrewBigGov on Telegram, and we could say, look at all the posts by Lewis, learn his style, learn the way he speaks, and create new posts. And here are the topics we want you to create, and they'll create it in your voice, which is why you're getting confused and thinking, did I really write that? Because they can mimic that. I can go in and have AI write a sales letter, and I could say, write the sales letter in Dan Kennedy's style. And it'll do that. It'll sample all Dan Kennedy's stuff, and then it will figure out what his style is, and it'll create something new based in his style. We saw that with the Taylor Swift imagery that's going around now. Looks just like her, all AI generated.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
The technology is amazing. We've been warning people for years that it's out there and it's real. And the reality is great technology is phenomenal in the right hands.
Right.
The challenge is, are they good guys or bad guys? And that's where we're struggling right now. I frankly, and this, if you want to look at this, it's just a news program, then shut your ears. I feel like we are in a spell casting matrix right now. And that's what's really, really going on. You have a bunch of these high-level spellcasters, and people are buying into it, where you can just put the armor of God on and just say it's not going to affect me, or you can absorb it and let it affect you. And this is what they're doing. Everything in movies, they're spellcasting. It's constant. It's all the repetition of the same thing. What you saw on Wired.com, that's total spellcasting.
Mm-hmm.
So people need to grasp that's how deep we're dealing with this stuff. And this is why awareness, discernment, and authenticity are so important right now in this time.
And we will be fooled by AI. There's no question. It's it's more advanced than we're even familiar with. And I've been studying and paying attention to it. It's more advanced than even I know, and the things that it can do. And here's the thing about it is that there's no hard, fast rule. It's not like a piece of software that you're used to. It can only do this, but it won't do that. With AI, you can reprogram it to do different things. You could, like I said, you could go look at, 500 posts from Lewis and get a feel for his style with AI. Now you've trained the AI to speak in Lewis's voice, and you can make it say anything you want, right? You could say, give me an opinion on this topic, give me an opinion, and it will go and create it in his voice, but not his thinking. Can't get inside his head that way, but certainly it'll create it in his voice. So we know that these tools now, one of the biggest fears is that the tool's going to recreate itself, right? And be able to reproduce and create more AIs. We're there. We're really on the precipice of that being the reality. So then the question then we have to answer is, how do we know what's real and what's not? That's going to be a tough question, because we can all be fooled. I can be fooled. You can be fooled. Anybody can be fooled with it. It's really that good.
It is that good. And like we've said many times, the military industrial complex is 30 to 50 years in front of where we are right now.
Right.
So whatever you're seeing pales in comparison to what's really exists.
Well, the internet was invented, and a lot of people don't realize this, in 1969. I was 5 when the internet was invented. You might say, wait a minute, I didn't see it until the 90s, right? The 93.
How old was Al Gore when he invented the internet?
He was he was an embryo. That's what he was. Don't use that nickname. That was my nickname in high school. I hated
it. Your nickname was embryo?
Embryo, yeah.
Oh my Lord.
I hated that one.
I don't even want to know how that happened.
I don't know where they got that from. But anyway, high school kids can be a little cruel. So in 1969, we saw the first email being sent, right? That was the first version of the internet, computer-to-computer connection. But you and I, as the public, didn't actually see the World Wide Web until 1993, just to give you an idea. Now, I was on the internet before that. I was on the internet in 1986, 87 with Genie and things like that, but it was all text. There was no images, right? The World Wide Web is where the images started to come. But if you remember, I don't know who was on the internet back in 95, 96, when images would download one line at a time, right? Beep, 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 and every other line would download. It would, take forever to download a single image. And where we are today. But that technology, it's been growing for a very long time. So they are way ahead of us. There's no question. The AI we're seeing today, and what's shocking is how quickly it's quote unquote being developed. Version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4, all within 1 year. No, they're way ahead. Lewis is right. They're way ahead of us. It's what they're allowing us to see is really the question.
Exactly. If you really believe there are controllers that live in mansions, drive very expensive cars, and own these extraordinarily expensive jets, then you have to know that they have technology that is way in front of what we have.
Yep.
Because they're selfish. The last thing they do it, the only time they give it to we the people is if they think they can control and monetize it. That is it. If they can control us with it and monetize it, then they release it. Or sometimes it just gets out in the public accidentally, and then they full-throatedly support it so they can monetize it.
Well, is AI then something they release on the public because they know all these fakes are going to be so easy to create that it's just going to confuse all of us? And when we're confused, we're easy to control.
Well, that's the idea, right? They need us confused and divided.
Yeah.
And they do a damn good job at that.
With our media, yes, they do. It's just absolutely insane to watch. Oh, do I have this photo? I have to have this photo here. All right. Next up, while we keep going on here, here we go. There's a farmer rebellion still going on in Germany after a month. Now it's in France as well. Protesting farmers in France began a siege of Paris on Monday. This was published yesterday, but Monday, I guess, comes early in some other parts of the country, other parts of the world. They blocked all major highways with tractors. Farmers from across the EU, angered by unfair competition from more lightly regulated countries, costly climate policies, subsidy cuts, tax hikes, have also targeted government offices, with some being damaged in the protests. Yes, with pig manure. I saw that. It's just kind of crazy. They tried to appease them, but it didn't work, and it's continuing. Now, my thought here, Lewis, when we look at the convoy, the way it's set up now, is a very quick event. Starting today, it's over Saturday. Do we need something more, do you think, going forward? Do you think this will be a catalyst to something more?
I do think it'll be catalyst to something more. Yeah. I don't know how that will manifest itself, but I do believe it will be a catalyst for something more. I believe it's going to be a very successful event. It's going to wake up a lot of people, and then we'll be able to use that for something more. I think it's going to, honestly, I think it will automatically and naturally fold right into Remember Your Oath, which is amazing because a lot of stuff is coming out in regards to Remember Your Oath in the app very, very soon. I've been so excited of the some of this work we got done this weekend and so on and so forth. So pretty cool. But I think it's going to roll right into that. And if anybody wants to know what Remember Your Oath is, um, site's not finished yet, but go to rememberyouroath.com. There's a lot of information there, and it'll give you an idea. It's how we can empower we the people to stand up without paying for a program to teach you how to do that. Go figure.
Free. Go figure.
What a concept.
So the trucker convoy in Canada was not meant to go on weeks and weeks and weeks. But what happened was it started to build momentum, and people saw what was going on, and just more and more just kept coming. Now, my thinking is that this may be a catalytic event, this convoy. It may catalyze, and it may be the start of something much bigger. And, there's a lot of different things that can be done from this. Like, I've got ideas, and other people have ideas of where it could go. And like you, I have no idea what could happen. But I really think when we raise this up, dying to see people step up. And finally, there's an event where people are going to step up and be seen and be counted. And I think this is really important at this stage, because we're wanting that so much. And if it does what I expect it will do, because I'm seeing it everywhere now in the media, or the alternative media, I should say, not the mainstream media. Mainstream media is bashing it. Our side is kind of promoting it. So if it's going to do that, more and more people are going to get involved. I get emails all the time from people. What can I do? What can I do? I can't make it to Yuma. Can't make it to San Diego. Can't make it to Texas. What can I do? That may spawn other events in other parts of the country.
Yeah, well, I think it will. And these events, I think, will mature. I think some of it's going to end up being, it'll probably spawn some Christian revival events and some tent events there, and it will spawn more border events. And I'm hoping when we show the success that people are going to end up starting to go to their capitals and hold the people in their capitals. Could be your county or it could be your state. Hold them accountable, because they have nobody intimidating them or pushing their buttons.
Right.
They have not understood that they are our employees. We need to let them know that they are employees and they will be held accountable as such.
So you look at in Canada, it was, in Germany, the same thing. There's something going on a little bit more than a month now in Germany. It wasn't planned to be that. But as more and more momentum built on it, it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, and more of the farmers and the truckers are saying we're not going home. And now they're really blocking France. They're tearing up some. We saw either parking lots or roads being torn up by these guys. So, they're not going to back down. They're just going to keep going. And I think we're at that point here in the United States where everyone's looking for, okay, what can we do? What can we do? This is the start. That's why I played that video of the first 4 trucks that are starting the convoy. It's very small, but it only takes a spark, right?
Oh yeah. And that one's growing already from what I hear. So it'll be huge by the time it hits Jacksonville.
Yep. So if you were a guy making $100,000 a year, how much would you have left over at the end of the year? Depending on the city you live in. It's kind of interesting. Least expensive city is Memphis, Tennessee. If you had $100,000 a year salary, you'd have almost $40,000 of that left over after all your expenses were paid. That's pretty good.
Wow. That's not bad.
Yeah. If you were living in New York City, you'd be under by $6,200. It's like, oops. You need a little bit more than $100,000 just to get by there. San Francisco, you'd be under by $1,300. San Diego, you'd have $5,300 left. That's something, but not a lot. El Paso, Texas, you'd have $37,000 left in your pocket, almost as good as Memphis. San Antonio, $37,000. Tulsa, Oklahoma, $35,000. Oklahoma City, $35,000. And Boston, Massachusetts, you'd have about $6,600 left over at the end of the year. Kind of interesting when you look at the different cities. It's an interesting way of doing the survey too, saying, well, how much would you have left after spending your $100,000 income?
I think that's a great way to do it
Yeah,
too, because that's real life scenarios
it's
right
more
there.
relatable. Exactly. Yeah.
And you and I are in Southern California. No wonder we're struggling all the
No
time.
wonder we're struggling. Well, we're in Southern California, but we dress really well, right?
Only because my wife dressed for me. And the reality, though, is she gets, and I know people are going to maybe judge me for this, but she gets the best jeans that I have. Almost always are from the thrift store.
Nice.
For years and years and years, she has found that they have the high quality jeans there that people who know they grow out of or whatever it is. And myself and my kids end up with some really, really good stuff because she's such a great shopper.
And this jacket here can be yours if you go to screwbiggov.com/swag, an embroidered ScrewBigGov logo. Look really, really snazzy in that jacket. A lot of people have been ordering them, which is really nice to see. We're showing the message, getting the word out there that we're not going to take it anymore. We're fed up. We're as mad as hell, and we're just not going to take it anymore. Hey, all right. I think we've come to the end of our journey here today.
Oh,
Oh, it ends so quickly. I mean, Mondays are always fun. You know what I'm finding? It's kind of interesting today because normally Mondays there's a lot of stuff that's popping. And what I'm finding today is that there's a lot of misinformation. So there were stories I was going to bring forward, and then I dug into them and go, well, that's not true. And there's a lot of playing around with the details and the positioning of the stories and things like that. And I'm like, boy, there's a lot of that going on today for some reason. I don't know what's in the air, but it's an interesting Monday. Took a lot longer to
yeah.
put things together today.
No, and I know when I'm digging into stories before I repost them or put it up on the news, I don't know if people understand how many that we reject
Yeah.
just because, and there's a lot of them are sent to us and we still have to scrutinize them and they get rejected just because it's lacking something or there's some manipulation there or another agenda or just false, completely false.
I got a cool one this week. Somebody watched our show and sent us a story and said, you need to cover this.
Say that again.
What now? They sent a clip of our show saying we need to
Right.
cover this.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Okay, then. Deep breath.
Well, that's awesome. That's 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 okay. That's
Having a
okay.
little hot flash. I don't know. Any final words for today before we wrap up? We have a show coming tomorrow. We have some interviews coming up, don't we?
We
do we
do.
Who do we have?
In fact, it's Ian Trottier, which is a really smart dude. So you should come watch tomorrow. Ian Trottier. He exposes the World Economic Forum and where the real money and from the families came from, a lot deeper than anybody else I've seen. And he has a brilliant take of what's really going on in the border. He calls it's the Trojan horse. So
Wow.
you guys definitely need to be there tomorrow, same time, same bat channel. It's Ian Trottier, and he's brilliant actually. So I think that'll be a really, really good interview tomorrow.
I get concerned every time I have a little scratch or something. It's like, oh no, it's not a comb. It's just a scratch. It's just an itch. It's okay, guys.
Yeah, I don't know if you know, I've had people in the chat said, Lewis, if you think this, scratch your nose.
Yep.
I've had that before.
I've seen that too. I've had it too. So I'm like, no,
Yeah.
that's not a comb. I'm going to have to clarify going forward.
That's hilarious. That is funny.
Lewis, good seeing you today. Thank you so much for playing a good role here. You did a great job doing color. I always appreciate our time together, and we know we're going to do a whole lot more going forward. So I appreciate you.
Yep. Appreciate you, Robert. And the only color I do is my color, which is peach.
Peach. I love peach. The privileged person called Peach. All right.
God bless everybody out there. Just know that we got this. Just hang in there. We've got this.
We do have this. God bless.